Hey everyone, thanks for checking out our video. And before we jump in, I want you to consider two things. First is subscribe to the channel. Second, find Building and Becoming in our link list, click on it, and start your 7-day free trial to our school community. Okay, on to the lesson. Hey everybody, welcome back. You're in the Building and Becoming classroom. You probably already knew that. You have decided to jump into the mindset course. It's going to be module number 11. And I'm calling this the 1.0 versus the 2.0 versions of ourselves. Okay. So what we're going to do is compare and contrast. So the 1.0 version, if you're not familiar with the vernacular, the 1.0 version, that's just kind of the old version, right? The 2.0 is the upgraded, right? So the old iPhone's a 1.0. The new upgraded version, the brand new one's the 2.0 version. So it's the newest, greatest, right? And there's a 1.0 version of us and there's a 2.0 version of us. We're going to compare those. So let's jump right in. I encourage you to grab your journal, grab a pen. Why do we write things down, everyone? Oh, what is written is retained. Great answer. Avoidance motivation against approach motivation. So avoidance motivation is the 1.0 version. What's that mean? So avoidance motivation directs behavior away from an undesired situation. Okay. So our behavior is based upon what we don't want to have happen to us. The approach motivation is the drive towards something positive. Okay. So avoidance motivation says to you, don't fumble the ball, don't fumble the ball, don't fumble the ball. Approach motivation says, hold the ball high and tight and focus on gaining yards. Move forward, take the ground. It's a different perspective. The 2.0 version, the drive towards something positive is what we want. So the 1.0 version of ourselves were driven by our pasts. The 2.0 versions are pulled forward by our futures. Let me give you a couple examples that speak to avoidance and approach motivations. So we train. Why do we train and lift weights? We train to build our health and the physiques that we desire. We don't train out of fear of going back to being fat and putting on weight. A lot of you are like, yeah, I do. I want to encourage you to get out of that mindset. That quit training to not go back to the 1.0 version. Train to be a better 2.0 version and keep improving that one. So we train to get strong, not to not get fat. Another example. So I'm choosing not to drink alcohol because I'm proactively building the best future possible for myself. And frankly, alcohol doesn't serve the 2.0 version of me. Instead, the 1.0 version does it this way. Well, I can't drink because I'll go off the deep end of life and I'll end up in jail or, right? That's the 1.0 version. I can't drink because the 2.0 version says, I've decided alcohol doesn't serve me. I'm making a choice to not drink. See, it goes back to perspective. We talk a lot about perspective because it all comes back to perspective. It circles back. It's pretty cool. So declarations. If you jump back over into the faith course, there's a module that I recently did. I think it's number 5 maybe. And it talks about declarations, talks about reclaiming your power and declarations. So declarations are important. The 2.0 version has declarations. The 1.0 version is beating ourselves up. Declarations. Here's some. I'm strong. I'm disciplined. I'm focused. I'm powerful. I'm future focused. I'm building and becoming the person God made me to be. Those affirmations and declarations are super important. Another contrast and example. The 1.0 version of ourselves were driven by fear, which traps us in a lower state of consciousness. The 2.0 version is driven by courage and vision and limitless potential, a higher and more positive state of consciousness. We can't leave the house every day on the premise of, I hope and I'm going to do everything I can to have bad things not happen to me. No, we leave the house every day understanding we're going out into the world and we're going to go make good things happen for us. Proactively chasing the positive instead of being in a reactive posture. 1.0 version against 2.0 version. So the 1.0 version of ourselves did what makes us feel good, whatever. Everything's on the table. We do that regardless of considering our short or long-term futures. It's just what makes me feel good now. This meal is going to make me feel good now. Committing this sin is going to make me feel good right now in this moment. The 2.0 version develops habits that are strategic. So we've talked about strategy and tactics. Tactics are very short term, strategies are long term, big picture thinking. 2.0 people develop strategic habits. The results are long term, long lasting, and provide huge positive returns rather than immediate gratification. The 2.0 version is not interested in immediate gratification. The 1.0 version of ourselves wallows in resentment and that poor me mentality that keeps us stuck. The 2.0 version accepts, learns, forgives, and presses on. The 2.0 version has a perspective that is the opposite of resentment. Does anyone know the opposite of resentment? Gratitude. Again, perspective. I'm glad that blank happened for me rather than choosing to be angry that it happened to me. Bad stuff's going to happen to us. Okay. We know that. We've lived any kind of time at all on this fallen earth. Bad stuff's coming. Bad stuff's going to happen to us. People we love are going to mess us around, and we're going to have issues at work, and there's going to be health problems or whatever. Our perspective is everything. The 2.0 version approaches everything from the opposite of resentment, and that opposite is gratitude. So have a grateful heart. Even the book of James talks about this, rejoice when you have troubles. Troubles provide you the opportunity for perseverance and hope and an increased faith. It's all good stuff. The 1.0 version of ourselves, we were people pleasers. So that makes us inconsistent, duplicitous, and wafflers, right? We're kind of 1 foot over here, 1 foot over here. We don't know what we really stand for. The 2.0 versions, we're not concerned with how others view or like us. We stick to our core values. Core values, that's an interesting talk. Have I heard that before? Well, you have if you've checked out the sales and entrepreneurship course, because in module 5 over in that course, I talk about core values and how important they are and how you can develop your own. So the 2.0 version, we don't pander to the latest thing. We're authentic and true to our beliefs and faith, regardless of what the world or those closest to us think. Okay, we stick with our core beliefs. The 1.0 versions of ourselves have the limited mindset that we can do everything on our own. We can change on our own. The 2.0 versions operate best in community, right? That's why you're in Building and Becoming. You operate best in community. We're glad you're here, and we're going to continue to grow. And we're going to continue to evolve into the next version. Maybe there's a 3.0 version coming out that we're going to talk about here. So I have some homework for you, okay? The homework is this: examine your life. You do this in your quiet time. Just sit and do an honest assessment of your life and ask yourself, what areas are you still stuck in the 1.0 version? Because even though you're the upgraded version, like that new shiny iPhone's the new 2.0 iPhone, but it still might have something that the old one has that'd be great if that wasn't part of this, but it still is. It doesn't mean that's not the 2.0 iPhone, but it still has something that really needs improvement. What areas are you still stuck in the 1.0 version and have neglected to upgrade that software? Your personal software. There's a better version of you. It's the 2.0 version, and man, it's waiting to be unleashed. You're getting closer. You're becoming the 2.0 version, but you might not be him or her quite yet. Keep moving forward. Appreciate you. Until next time, let's grow.